Welcome to my channel, AOR DV10 scanner that receives DMR, D-Star and Fusion. So plus HF band, CW. Quick look around it, we've got the on-off button here, squelch button here, just there. When you press it, you get this highlights there. And you can adjust it with the lower knob there. Just go up a bit so you can see you've got the volume here at the top, the smaller one, and then that's like a channel change. Even though it's quite good anyway, it feels robust. A and B, it only receives one VFO at a time, but it's actually got VFO A, B and Z. The other thing is you've got an SD card in there for programming. You can use software and you can program this radio I think quite easily using just the radio. You don't have to use the software, but the software is free and it's called AR Editor and it works on a browser. So you don't actually download it. You just, put this browser address in and you're there. So some of the, on the right hand side, you've got 3.5 jack out, USB connection there, not for charging, but it does work for interacting with different programs. And RR UK have got something called Scanner Linker, but there's lots of, there's the ARC Bootel, they've got one, I think. I mean, it's quite, with the DV10, you've got to be careful with the software. With the DV1, not so careful. So let's just look at some of the front selections. If we go menu, if you want to go to VFO mode, so the first selection, look, number 1, and you don't have to select the tiles with the right and left arrow, as I'm doing, and then enter. You can actually press the numbers. Each tile has a number. That one has number 1, so we can press number 1, and then you select the VFO, A, B, or Z. We just go to A, which is number 1. And then select enter. We'll do that again, menu 1, and then enter again. And you're in VFO. And when you're in this VFO, you can type frequency. So we can go 431.550, enter. And that's picking up DMR straight away. If it's in auto mode, and I'll show you how to do that, it will decode it. So you just hold down the mode and it automatically selects auto. Press enter and it should decode it. It needs, a couple of seconds to decode it, but it will eventually.
Victor Tango. Afternoon.
There you go, decode it. Otherwise, if you want, turning down the volume here.
Welcome, sir.
Just go up a bit. Turn down the volume there. We can still type in frequency because we're in VFO mode. And if you find something you like, I'll show you mode again. Press mode and look, you can actually select all these different modes. As you can see, Yaesu, D-Star, all kinds of stuff. You back out with the clear button. Just press clear. You're back to the beginning. When you are in VFO, if you see something you like, you can save it just by holding down the enter. Hold down enter. And then you can start to save. Now you need to make sure you are in VFO mode. See the way it says bank there? If I press enter, we can actually select the bank number and the channel number. I think it's 40 banks. So if we just, for example, select bank 02, then 01, it would now save whatever parameters we're going to do in channel into that bank. And if you go down, you can tag it. You can select mode there by just pressing enter and you're changing the selections, turning, let's call it the channel knob. Keep going down, you've got a couple of other selections. You have to enter each thing before you move on. Go down with the right arrow. Pass just means, I'm pretty sure you can tell it to skip it, in a search. And we've already named it. To name something, you just go enter. And then the way you write on this, the way the system they've got to say number 1, for example, is A, number 2 is D, and the EF. You just enter it. So we've already selected M, so let's go to M. We can go right and left there. So if we select 5, it will select M, and if we keep going, 5 has got MNO and 5, hasn't it? You get it. You get the idea. And then you just go enter, and once you're happy, go down. You always have to select memory channel set, go enter. So that's how you search and sort of save. Now, when you have got things saved, you are then able to go to menu, go across to scan, enter, enter, and it will scan different banks and memories. If you've got nothing saved, it won't do that. Just remember here, 01, and see that you're scanning bank 1 at the moment. See if we press hold. At the moment, if we try and type anything, it's just going to type a frequency because we're in VFO mode. But if we go menu, go across to memory with the right arrow or number 2, enter. We can actually choose a bank. So we go to the right, enter. There's our bank. We're on 0106 at the moment, but we can go enter. Do that again, menu, enter, enter. We can go 03. I'm just choosing one at random here, 03. And we're now on bank 03 and channel 03. So you get a feel for that. So it's when you go menu, that's your VFO selection. That's your memory selections. This scan means you're basically scanning memories. If you go enter, you can choose you can choose your bank and or group, and you can edit groups here as well. Go menu, let's have a look. Now when you go menu search, enter, you create banks that you search. So we just select one to search, enter, and it's just look at the first digits now, bank 8. And in bank 8, these are the frequencies that are in there. So how do you set up that bank? You go menu, go to search again, which is number 4. Go across to bank edit. This is quite important if you're programming manually. Go enter. And now you set the number of the bank. So let's give it a different number. We'll go enter and we'll just call it bank 10. Okay. We've named. Now we'll do the start and the finish. I'll leave it alone because I don't want to be here all day, but you just type the start, then go enter. Then it goes down to the high frequency, so the finish, 146. We can select mode, so we go enter. And with the channel change, we can choose that to FM, enter. We can even select the steps that it's going to search. Then we can name the bank. I've named it 2 meters. We'll leave protect off, and then we'll set parameters, enter. Okay, so we're not searching bank 10 at the moment. We can pause the search there. We can go menu, go to search, and this time we're going to go enter. Oh, hang on, we did that wrong. Menu, search, bank, enter. We can go 10. And it's now searching the 2 meter. We named it 2 meters, and it's searching, as you can see, 144006. And again, squelch is important. Get your squelch up higher as well. Enter. So we go menu, search, enter, and it starts to search. Right, I made some notes. Let's just clear that. Make sure I haven't missed anything. We'll go menu, go across to, quite crackly today, configuration, enter, and then you've got things that you can alter there. Beep, volume, attenuate. If it's a really strong signal, you can tone it down a bit. Contrast, you know, and your backlight for the screen settings. Squelch type. Res code, I haven't done that. Protect on off. I think when you've got protect on, it's harder to change things by accident. RF gain. Save type audio, is that recording? Log record. X tau offset. Power save, sound gain, auto region, I put Euro, and this is where you can do all your firmware, and you can do the firmware just from your SD card. It's not hard at all. Clear, menu. I've noticed there is a trunk section there. Go enter, and it's asking me if I want to activate, but I've not used that. Menu, that's your clock. CLK is if you want to set your time. That's for clock. Enter, look. We can set our clock if we want. Just start typing your date and time and then enter it. Menu. Don't clock edit. I've noticed with this you can sort of copy and paste things, and it's not just the VFO, it's memory channels, memory bank, search group, search bank, search. It's quite a lot, isn't it? And if you select one, just choose one. Again, this is a bit of learning to do this, but enter, look. Enter again, look, and now you get a chance here to move things around. Again, I've not really done that, but I'll just show it you anyway. If you hold down the enter button, is where you save things when you're in VFO mode, clear. If you hold down the record button, you get this list of what is on the actual SD card. So we do have an SD card in there, and that is shown on the first screen that there is an SD card in there. Press enter, and it starts to read the different CSV files, which you can bring in using other programs like RRUK. So you can bring in CSV files, which is very handy. And also, I'm pretty sure in the same place you would have your recordings and your firmware, so you can look at what you've got on your SD card. Remember that, hold down record, and that's your list. But if you go to backup and go enter, you can now, everything that's on the radio can be saved. So when you go execute, it actually writes it to the SD card. So if you've made a couple of little tweaks, menu, no, we don't have to